Mumbai-born New Zealand left-arm spinner Ajaz Patel scripted history today after taking all 10 wickets in an innings. With this feat, the New Zealand bowler has joined Kumble and former English cricketer Jim Laker in the elite club.
These kind of things probably don't really sink until later, if I'm honest with you. Obviously, it is a special moment. I'm not going to lie about that. It's brilliant for me, not only me, but my family. You know, my mum and dad and all their support, and my wife and all her support. And it's never easy being a cricketer. You spend a lot of time away from home, and to be able to come back home to Mumbai and to Wankhede and to be able to produce something like that is quite special. And I'm grateful to God that, you know, he's blessed me with this, I suppose, occasion in my cricketing journey. So it's really, really special for me.
Let's take this across to Charu Sharma, sports commentator, joining us. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Charu, very, very quickly, you know, it's been an exciting day in cricket with Ajaz Patel becoming only the third player ever to strike down all 10 wickets in one innings of a test match. How exciting for you personally is such a rare feat?
Phenomenal, nothing short of that. And where did he come in from? From the cold. I mean, nobody really knew much about Ajaz. And he'd been doing reasonably well in New Zealand for a while now, wasn't picked for the side. He's not the youngest. Obviously, Guile and on the Indian pitches supporting him. But, you know, forget all the reasons and the excuses and whatever else. It's just, you know, once in half a century, should we say, a sort of an achievement. And as Kumble said, you know, it's a very, very short club. He will remember this day till forever. I just hope that he plays for New Zealand as much as he possibly can. He may not get such supportive wickets, but you just have to sit back and absorb the enormity of the situation, the history that's been created, even though it's been done twice before. And it's just one of the most difficult things in the game. It's sort of akin to almost a 400 with the bat, and that's only been done once. So it's just, Ajaz, congratulations. We all truly, deeply enjoyed your bowling.
And how do you evaluate the other New Zealand bowlers? Were they ineffective, would you say, or was it just Ajaz's day?
Well, there has to be a bit of that. I mean, it was certainly his day. A few decisions went, you know, 50-50, and let's not take that away from the fact that he got 10. But, you know, it's not that any other bowler tries not to get a wicket. Everyone's working really hard to get a wicket. The fact that they don't, I mean, sometimes there are near misses, is just one of those things. I mean, when India got all out for 36 in Australia, people were saying, what happened? It's just one of those days where just about every wicket-taking delivery bowled by an Australian fast bowler turned into a wicket. And here, too, he did extremely well. The others didn't bowl too badly. But, you know, I suppose they kept up a bit of the pressure. But it's just, you can't take it away from the fact that the others didn't bowl too well. It's just one guy came up with dare I use the word lottery.
Well, absolutely. And the last great left-arm spinner that New Zealand really produced was Daniel Vettori. Now, as you earlier mentioned, he isn't the youngest. He is already 33. But where do you see his career going from here?
Well, if he doesn't play for New Zealand for quite a while, say at least another 5 years, it will be a travesty of justice. Because, I mean, he's, I think, the top wicket taker in New Zealand for 2-3 seasons in a row, didn't make the team. And as it is, players tend to last a lot longer, maybe into the late 30s as well, if he keeps reasonably fit. Now, can he also add with the bat? He did very well in that first test match, as you will remember, taking New Zealand to a draw. So he's a fine all-rounder almost in that kind of mold. And if they have reasonably good spinning conditions, he should be their #1 option.
And also for teams visiting India, you know, this means that really top quality spin is a prerequisite, isn't it? If one has to really make a mark as far as Team India is concerned, would you say?
Without question. I mean, you'd like to think that the Indians are very good at facing spin, at dealing with spin, but there have been plenty of spinners in the past who've come to India and done exceedingly well. Nathan Lyon did well. I can remember a few names. A couple of English spinners did really well. I'll get the names in a second. But, you know, they do very well because they don't get these conditions in most of the other pitches they play around the world. So for batsmen, too, they like to play in India because although it may be a little slow and low, but it's generally good batting conditions. And, of course, the spinners, particularly in day 4 and 5. But to get your 10 for in a day and a half, the first day and a half, is phenomenal. I suppose, you know, you will have to say that was Wankhede just a shade too spinny a track? There will be that kind of criticism around the world, but I'm sure most of his peer group will say, regardless of the conditions, to take all 10, just very special.
Right, and really, how do you see this really for New Zealand cricket on the whole, you know, for a country that has always prided itself on pace? This is, of course, another massive feather in its cap.
Yes, it is a rarity. It's not an oddity because, I mean, New Zealand have got decent spinners in the past. You just mentioned Danny Vettori, one of the finest in the world. But it's more a tribute to left-arm orthodox bowlers in general because they tend to be the most accurate bowlers in the world. It's just something very natural, just something very beautiful that comes out of the left-arm orthodox hand because, I mean, if you place a coin, they're likely to hit it 5 times out of 6 and over. It's just a superior natural action that results in great accuracy for left-arm spinners. But yeah, I mean, for New Zealand, it's obviously something rare. They might have expected a fast bowler to come of the whole 10, which has never been done. So maybe it's the accuracy of spinners in general that allows them 10 for in a match, in an innings, because no fast bowler has ever done it. They've got to 9, but not to 10. And for New Zealand to produce a bowler such as this one, who will be remembered forever in New Zealand cricket, in world cricket, is something that they must truly cherish and not just, talk about conditions and India and take anything away from this remarkably rare feat.
Well, Charu Sharma, thank you so much for sharing with us those insights. And as you rightly mentioned, for cricket fans globally, this is a landmark moment any which way you look at it. It's only happened thrice ever in the history of cricket. And that's what makes this moment so special. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us your views, Charu.